Okay, here I am at the start of the Freedom Trail in Boston. Today is June 26, 2010, and I'm going to try to go on the entire 2.5-mile walk along the Freedom Trail. Okay, as you can see, there's a red line that marks where the Freedom Trail is. In parts of the city, it's actually red bricks that are put into it. In fact, right here, that is red brick right there. One of the first stops and where the trail starts is a place called the Boston Common. The Boston Common, huge public open area. They used to graze their sheep and cattle here a long time ago, back in the 16 and 1700s. Okay, this is the Massachusetts State House, another stop along the Freedom Trail. Okay, this is the Park Street Church. I was reading in the guidebook that before all the tall buildings came to Boston, this was one of the first sights that people saw as they came into the harbor. It's over 200 feet tall, the steeple is. Okay, this is the Granary burying ground where some of the most famous Sons of the Revolution are buried. It's a very beautiful cemetery. We'll take a look in there at some of the famous people who are buried. Let me just go back a little bit over here to the Park Street Church. There's a great view of it right here. Right there. Okay, this is King's Chapel right there. And over to the side, we have another burying ground that I'm going to walk over to in just a moment. Okay, this marks the Latin school where the first public education started. They've got kind of a mural in the sidewalk. Okay, this is the Old South Meeting House. This is where in December of 1773, the Bostonians got together after having the tea in the harbor, and they were talking about what to do, and it was decided on that day to take action against the British and their unfair tea practices and taxes. And from this building, the people left angrily and decided to take action that night. Okay, here we are at the Old State House, the old Massachusetts State House. Goes way up there. Down. And then just right here on the street is in March of 1770, this is the spot where the Boston Massacre took place, where soldiers opened fire on a crowd and killed 5 colonists. Okay, here we are at Faneuil Hall near the Quincy Market, or right across the street from the Quincy Market. Faneuil Hall was an area on the first floor where they had commerce and business and so forth. On the second floor, it was considered a meeting place, where they had several different meetings and revolutionary ideas. Okay, here we are at another stop on the Freedom Trail. This is the Paul Revere House. Again, Paul Revere was the silversmith who was famous for making his midnight ride out to Lexington and Concord. Was caught, though, during it. And one of the founding fathers. Okay, here we are at the Paul Revere statue in the Old North Church. When they found out which way the British would be traveling, one if by land, two if by sea, which was by water, so they went and put 2 lanterns up in the church, warning the Minutemen that they would be traveling by water. When Paul Revere saw that, he took off on his journey. Okay, here we are at Copp's Hill Burying Ground, one of the largest and oldest burial grounds in the city of Boston. In June of 1775, when the Battle of Bunker Hill was raging, the British used this higher vantage point to aim their cannons down at the rebels. Okay, I'm standing on a bridge over the Charles River looking back towards Boston and the Old North Church and those those burial grounds, Old Copp's burial grounds. This is the Charles River right here. British would have launched their bombs and attacks over the river. And this area over here is where the Battle of Bunker Hill took place, which again is on Breed's Hill rather than Bunker Hill. It is misnamed. Okay, here we are at the USS Constitution, which is also nicknamed Old Ironsides. Very famous warship in American history. Served in the War of 1812. Never lost a battle. Got its name because no ball would penetrate its wood. Okay, here I am on board the USS Constitution. It's phenomenal. Just a beautiful, beautiful old ship. There we are looking up to the mast and the top. It's just a beautiful deck. They've polished it and made it look great. Okay, I walked to the back part of the ship. It's just a beautiful, beautiful ship. I'm not that much into sailing or anything, but this is extremely impressive. And we have the Don't Tread on Me flag flying up there. It's pretty. Here's just a side shot of the ship. Old Ironsides.
Yeah, they had to go change it and make
Undefeated.
it a lot smaller than it was initially, and they have nothing to do with the letters that it stands for.
Okay, here's the skyline of Boston from on board the USS Constitution. I've enjoyed walking this Freedom Trail today. I've got one more major stop over at Bunker Hill. Okay, here we are at the end of the Freedom Trail. This is the Bunker Hill Memorial. The Battle of Bunker Hill was fought in June of 1775. It was a victory for the British, but the Americans proved that they were going to be a force to be reckoned with, and that this revolution was going to take a while. There was horrendous casualties amongst the British officers, which hurt them badly, the worst of the war. Okay, here I am at the end of the Freedom Trail. I walked the whole thing and made it. It was a great experience. Every American should get to do it. A lot of fun. Now I'm going to head out to Fenway Park.